afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. I am Tracy Kramer, and I am a consultant in the SuccessFactors compensation module with the Rizing HCM team. And I'm coming to you today to talk through some exciting items in the compensation release due for the second half of 2021. For a quick reminder, that release is due into the production data centers on November 19th, 2021. So just a quick review of what we're going to talk about today. SuccessFactors has brought in some great features around publishing for any templates that are Employee Central enabled. We're also going to be talking through advanced executive review filters. There's some additional features that have come in for that. We're also going to be talking about a switch in the statement bulk print from executive review feature that was brought in a release or two ago, as well as an update to the Spot Awards program, an exciting addition. So let's just jump right into it. If you do have a template that is set up to be published back to Employee Central, then there's definitely several updates that you'll be able to make use of from this release. On the configuration side, we can now publish to the compensation information field. So think the comp info section that are not specific to the recurring or non-recurring pay components. This is a great feature for any template that's capturing additional information, such as, for example, a target bonus amount that would not be captured in a paying or not recurring or non-recurring pay component. We can also publish back to a custom MDF object. Say, for instance, you have one that was created to capture compensation information. Anything that is brought into your comp plan can now then be published back. Both of these upgrades significantly remove manual intervention from admins on the back end by allowing the administrators to publish directly back to Employee Central instead of the export-import function that's currently being used. While the comp info publish option is universal upgrade and available, the MDF option does require some provisioning to enable. On the cycle maintenance side, there is a new Employee Central publish report. This is a report that once you have published through your complete compensation cycle to Employee Central, you can go back into that complete compensation cycle area of your plan, go to that publish data menu pull down, and you'll see a post-publish report that can be exported as a spreadsheet for you to view. Lots of different options specifically around who did publish, as well as who was skipped because there weren't any events to publish, there were no changes, as well as any published events that failed. So you can now get into some significant detail on that. With the cycle maintenance, we're also able to build on an item that was released in the last half release, which was the ability to add a filter to the employee publish feature within that publish tool. Last half, we were able to add one filter. Now we're able to select up to 5 fields from your comp plan to filter by, to aggregate different groups to publish. Both features are self-service, and but the new publish report will require an RBP update to your compensation administrator role for you to be able to view and run that. So definitely some exciting updates to the Employee Central publish that will make it definitely a lot easier to use and a lot less stressful. Well, let's talk about the advanced executive review updates. This is a feature that was rolled out in the first half of this year. They are advanced executive review filters. You can visit our blog or our live LinkedIn sessions from the first half to get a better idea of what those advanced executive review updates look like. But this half, we're actually adding on to that. And it's a lot based on your feedback from the client community as well as directly to SuccessFactors. We are now able to disable specific population views that weren't relevant to your instance. So if you think about the pop-up when you first go into the filter, the population filter, you see that you can see your different populations based on your role, whether you're looking for a specific team member, you're looking at a specific team, or your HR reports, your matrix manager reports, and such. A lot of those roles don't pertain to your specific organization. And now we have the ability to check or uncheck if you want those filters to appear or not. For example, if you do not use matrix manager role in your instance, you can uncheck that so that it doesn't appear in these advanced executive review filters, and lessens the confusion for your planners when they're accessing that tool. We can also now add a filter option called outside of guidelines or salary range to the filters that when we create them, so that when this is added, it allows you to toggle between whether or not the population you're viewing is inside of guidelines or outside of guidelines based on a yes/no toggle. If you've not yet enabled this advanced executive review filter feature, it is well worth the review. It's enabled in the Actions for All Plans option in compensation through the company settings page. You'll see a checkbox that says Enable Advanced Executive Review Filters. The feature will be on for all users and all plans, but with the ability to save filters, toggle between filters, and filter using fields on the compensation plan, it is well worth the time to review. Let's talk about some updates that SuccessFactors has made to the bulk print in executive review. We were all very much anticipating this tool, and when it was released in the last few releases, there were some difficulties in using it. And based on a lot of feedback from clients, they did shift where this tool is enabled. So initially it was enabled through company settings, through the Actions for All Plans. So it was checked on for all plans and then managed slightly through your different compensation plans. But based on feedback, they've taken this feature and they've actually embedded it in the template itself. So you'll see on the page setup within your comp template itself, under settings page, the very bottom, you'll now see a checkbox that specifically says Enable Bulk Print in Executive Review. The checkbox is dynamic. It allows you to update during the planning cycle, and so it maintains this for specific templates. You'll also see that it does still respect all permissions and statement generations restrictions. So am I able to see statements? Am I able to see executive review, as well as if there are any statements generated? The other thing that was high on the list for all of us that did use this feature is the ability to navigate directly from the pop-up that appeared once you had completed the download statement process. There wasn't any instruction on how to get from this pop-up window to where those statements were being generated. Now, just like when we as admins were generating statements, we had a hyperlink navigation. That same hyperlink navigation is presented to your planners when they generate statements using this bulk print. And you'll see very specifically says, click here to navigate to check print status. So it saves up to 5 clicks. And yes, we did actually count the clicks to navigate your planners from where they generated those statements in executive review over to the View My Jobs in the report center. Now, this permission or this action is still specific to if a planner has permission to see the reporting tool. So you will still need to grant a basic report access to any planner you want to access this for bulk print statements. So both of these upgrades that we just talked about for the bulk print are universal and available with no additional permissioning or intervention unless you need to grant that additional reporting permission to your planners. On the spot awards or rewards and recognition, however you refer to the program, there's an exciting update that SuccessFactors has added into this release, and that is the ability to include within your point-based spot awards program and anniversary-based awards. This is unfortunately just available to our Employee Central clients that are enabling the rewards and recognition program to be connected or integrated with Employee Central. But if you do have Employee Central and you're using a points-based program, you can now set up a specific point-based program to celebrate your employees' anniversaries or other date-based service awards. And they can be set up to respect different milestones, as well as different recognition setups by country, region, or regional subgroups. So that is a universal update. You should be able to see that within your instance once the release is set up, and you can set up a program to recognize those spot awards. As always, if you have any questions or would like any additional information, you can reach out to Rizing for information or support.